The do's and don'ts for the week ahead, the last week of October into the first week of November. Welcome if you are new here. Welcome back if you are not. My name is Brenna. I'm the human design reader and astrologer, a little bit of a psychic intuitive as well, of the last 10 years, teaching you how to use this information in a practical way so you can make real life changes in your real life. Without further ado, we're going to get right into this week because we have a jam-packed one. First and foremost, we're in the Mercury retrograde shadow period. So if you experience any issues with communication, technology, problems in traffic with driving, you're going to notice that there are some agitated energies in the atmosphere right now. So just pay attention to that. Take twice as much time as you think that you need. If you're driving, 15 minute buffer should suffice. At least you know that you're doing things within your power to be able to make life a little bit more efficient. So I have my handy dandy notes here for what I was channeling on that was going to be the most important, and how I read the transits is by looking at the ruler of each day of the week, Monday being ruled by the moon, and then any other aspects that we have that are going to be connected to that day that I find important or potent or just are from my colleagues potent and important for you to learn that day. So Monday, October 27th, we have the moon that's going to be in Capricorn, specifically in gate 38, that's causing a temporary connection for the channel of struggle. Now, this doesn't mean that you're automatically going to struggle or that everyone's going to have a crappy Monday. It can mean that for some people, know that certain people that are already struggling, if they aren't looking for solutions or ways to help themselves, you're going to notice that a little bit more. I can imagine that those of you that work in any type of call center or communicating with a high level of customers over the phone for billing questions is probably going to be something that's going to feel a little bit inflammatory. Just knowing that this is in the atmosphere is 50% of the pie, because you know this, you're prepared for it, you don't feel sideswiped and you're going in on a Monday. What are the things that you can do to make your Monday rituals a little bit more important and special and cozy, and making sure that you're able to take care of yourself to nourish before you go into the day? When you know, you can put that mindset on and be able to prioritize how to solve problems in a way that's sustainable for you. Now, what we want to teach people to do, including ourselves, is to pick our struggles, right? We all have different struggles. For me, I've been trying to keep the dust bunnies clean. This is a silly little struggle, but it's true for my placements, especially walking around and making sure that I do some extra cleaning. Do I want to struggle and make myself feel like I have to clean the entire house on a Monday? No, I'm not going to do that, because I have other things that I have to prioritize, meetings and things that I have to be prepared for. So just picking your struggle with a grain of salt is going to be really important. Don't let your anxiety overrule you. You always want to go back to your authority in human design. If you don't know what your authority is, I have a free chart generator down in the comments below. You can grab that, look at it now, look at it later, have it handy so that you know how these energies are going to be affecting you. Any of the gate placements that I mentioned, you want to look to see if they're circled in your chart. Even if they're not, you're still going to feel the temporary influence of these energies of the struggle of Monday. So just paying attention to that. Don't let people drag your head around. Do prioritize what you want to conquer, how you want to be a team player, how you want to play the game of life, knowing that there's always problems that we're here to face, because we wouldn't have incarnated here for no reason. With that being said, moving on to Tuesday, which is Mars Day, we have a lot of energy with our Gate 43 Mars that will be ending specifically on Monday. But what I also put, just for the little bit of Mars energy as it's still in Scorpio, is to make sure that you're taking the time even more so to make sure that you get more bang for your buck with your actions. If you take certain actions when you're picking a struggle that you want to solve, is that the right action to take? Say your struggle is that you're not posting on social media enough like you want to for your business. Is the struggle to just then go on and post 16 times in one day? No, because you're operating from an all or nothing mentality. You're training the algorithm that you're going to post 16 times a day. So when you do go back to work, or you do, have more clients that you're meeting with during the day, you're not going to be able to post 16 times like you used to. So paying attention to that. What I also put is that it's important for you today to learn how to wait for the energetic or literal invitation from somebody. When you kind of settle in and know that you are coming from a place of power, self-empowerment, standing on your own solid 2 feet, that's what's really going to help you to be able to get more bees with honey. I forget the exact phrase, or flies with honey, whatever the phrase is. You can figure that, whatever that one is out. But it'll be able to make your actions more sweeter and have more impact when you learn to come at them from a place of empoweredness and grace rather than frantic energy. A lot of people are frantic right now. You don't want to be succumbing to that energy. You want to be diligent about problem solving, whatever problems you want to solve, but not giving into the fear, especially for those of you that have undefined solar plexus centers. or spleen centers in human design. Those are the two triangles on the left and right hand side of your chart. You're going to feel those things. You want to take it in. I just said this to a client I read for this week. Take it in. It's like doing a little swirly taste test, and then you spit it out into the spittoon when you go wine tasting. That kind of energy. I sense the energy. I know what people are feeling like, what they're tasting. I have a bad taste in my mouth about this. How do I spit it out, cleanse, get a new palate cleanser, and then be able to just move forward that way, shape, or form. I have a little cute little furry office pet that is spending some time with me down here and watching what I'm doing, even though he has no idea what I'm saying. But he's sweet because they really do know the energy. What I also put here, and this is something that I love to do, as you guys know, I have my lives on usually 2 days a week, Wednesdays and Thursdays, Human Design Hotline. And then I have in-person events, Human Design Happy Hour. I'm sponsored by a non-alcoholic beverage company called Soiree, so I'll do those in person. So I love alliteration, but come up with slogans, quotes, words of affirmation to help you get by and ground you. Again, stay above the fray. So paying attention to that, little things that maybe it's little acronyms that you can pay attention to that help you to be able to use your energy more efficiently. If it's an acronym using your name or something along those lines, that can also be helpful too. Now, for Wednesday, October 29th, also a heavy Mercury day, we're really looking at things from a survival perspective today. You don't want to start to get into the swirly whirly energy of like, oh my gosh, Christmas is coming and it's the holidays and how am I going to afford, to do these things. You just want to focus today on what you need, what is essential for how you can accomplish your goals in front of you. And if you're not, in that much of a dire situation, you want to look at us and say, okay, I know that these are the things that are my top 3 goals and priorities for the day, the money metrics that I want to hit in my business, the things that I want to do for my own sake, well-being. Maybe it's a self-care day for you. And write a priority list of like, do I need to feel like I have to go and pay for a 4-hour spa day to be able to feel relaxed with my self-care? Or can I really just take some time to get in bed a little bit early, make a nice cup of like something warm and delicious, and just lean into bed and watch some TV? And that restorative experience can be just as effective as doing a 4-day spa day, but you're not putting yourself out, right? Maybe it's like more effort for you to even have to drive, again, during Mercury retrograde shadow period, noticing that. I also wrote down here, you won't have the patience to be distracted by anything you don't care about today. So like the BS detector is going to be very high for a lot of people. Where are people yapping in your ear at work, in life, or comment section on the internet that you're just like, okay, like I cannot be bothered with this. I have to move forward because it's not productive for anybody. You're getting in my way, right? That's okay to feel like that today. It's like if somebody is blocking you from getting towards a goal that you want to go after, it's just like not really fueling you. Know how to do a little bit of a graceful exit and pivot out of a conversation, pivot out of the energy, just do a little bit of refresh. I know I sense the energy, I'm refreshing. How am I moving on today? Thursday, which is Jupiter Day, one of my favorite days for abundance and expansion. I've been saying this a lot, and it's been a channeled phrase, which is leaning no stone left unturned. And I said that specifically in my Generator 101 video. There's a free video all about generators under my Generator 101 little cat hair on my lashes playlist that you can look at in the comments below. So if you are a generator, you want to know a little bit more about your energy type, or you just need a refresher, I listen to 101 videos like once a month, go back to my notes just to remind myself of my energy type as a manifesting generator. The Generator 101 is in there. And I had said that for that placement too, where it's leaving no stone left unturned and just focusing on impatience. It's just something that we're really going to feel this week. When you feel those moments of impatience, it's good for all energy types to say, what's going to make me feel more satisfied in this moment versus who or what is frustrating me? How do I pivot? Because on a Jupiter ruled day, where your attention goes, energy flows. So you want to make sure that you're using your time, your attention wisely on the right thing, to not feel too thrown for a loop about like what other people are doing, like that they're just dragging your head too much and distracting your focus into directions that they don't actually belong, or in conversations that aren't actually doing something for you. They're not life-giving conversations. They're not giving you tips, things along those lines, just complaining for the sake of to complain. What have you been putting aside on your to-do list, and really taking notice of, okay, I've been saying I've wanted to do this for so long. If it keeps getting rolled into the next week to the next week, is it actually a priority for me? Is this something that I really want to be focusing on? Or is this something that actually is just like not important enough? And there's nothing wrong with that, but maybe that's something you can work on accomplishing in the new year. It's not something that you have to rush to fix from now until the end of the year. The sun is in gate 28 for most of this week. So it's giving us that fear of running out of time, which is what's making people really nervous, really anxious. But knowing that you have control, what do you have to do to be able to feel like you're not falling forward through your day again? So grounded energy, always going to be good. Now on Halloween, Friday, which I love that it's on a Friday, a lot of what I was saying for this placement, and it's interesting because of our Venus in gate 32, which can hold the fear of success, is nothing affects the life of a child more than the unlived life of a parent. Heavy, right? And what I say with that, and in the bigger, wider world, right? That is true. Obviously, for those of us when we're noticing on a Venus day, it's all about love and feeling successful, making, you want to make sure that your Halloween is as perfect as possible today. But knowing that there's nothing that will ruin it or tarnish it more than somebody who is unfulfilled in their own life and projecting that onto other people. It extends past the parent child relationship. And you're just noticing that for people today. Who are the naysayers? Who are the people that just feel like they're bumping into you? Misery loves company. We're noticing that today, and just how to pivot and be like, you know what, it's a holiday. I'm celebrating, doing something for the harvest season. If your Halloween isn't exactly your jam, but just doing something that feels lighter. Friday is a beautiful day to live in more levity and be able to feel like, okay, I feel expansive. I can sit up taller in my chair. I feel excited, and being able to just pour into what makes you feel good. I say that for any Friday because it is ruled again by the planet Venus. So being able to pour into that as well. Really figuring out how you can see the silver lining today is going to be important. This is a hope motivation-esque day where we're really looking at what's the silver lining. How can I feel a little bit optimistic? Even if I've only achieved my goals 20%, 50%, 75% of the way, how can I still be proud of myself for even going after them, even 1%? Whatever juice you got today, you want to apply it appropriately. There's provocation energy in the air as well. I wrote down too, but people are generally going to be, in the right ways. When you immediately detach, it's going to be easier for you to pivot, let it roll off your back, just roll off your back, like shrug off the negative energy. You're going to be able to pivot more quickly today than usual by looking at that silver lining. Gate 32, I also want to say, when it holds the fear of being your most successful self, is that you're looking at it from a place of future tripping too much and being too obsessed about the future that you take out of yourself out of the moment and being where your feet are, and you're worried about how you're going to maintain the landscape on your multi-million-dollar home when you haven't even found out how to get the first $1,000 in your business yet consistently per month, right? So it's like we have to start with those things so that those skills are skills that nobody can take away from you. It's adaptability that nobody can take away from you. And then it becomes easier where instead of pushing uphill, you're rolling that snowball, you've compacted it, you're pushing it downhill. Going to be very easy to be able to get what you want. So just paying attention to that on a Friday, focusing on those energies. If you have this energy, if you have gate 32, you're going to notice that that's a repeat theme that you kind of have to go back to from a buzzword shadow work perspective. So just to put a pin in Friday for now. For Saturday, we have a lot of Piscean energy. Our Pisces moon is in gate 63. We have our Pisces Saturn in gate 36. This is a Saturn ruled day. And then our Neptune in Pisces at 25 degrees. A couple of you have asked me about Pisces Saturn energy specifically with gate 25. So I'm going to read to you from the Definitive Book of Human Design. This is one of my favorite resources. If you want to purchase a copy of this, there is a link to it in the show notes below. But gate 25 sits in the G center. It's the gate of the spirit of the self. So the general energy for Saturn day and us getting disciplined about prioritizing this energy, I want you to think about it in this direction. So the love of gate 25 flows out of fully accepting and living in one's true body. A gate of the higher self, its pivotal role is to turn people towards being individuals. Your innocence is not designed to bring love into the world in any one specific way, but rather to love without discrimination. You hold the potential and empower others with the potential to love life and everything in it equally. You teach us that a flower can be loved as profoundly as a human. This quality of love is often projected as cool or cold, but is neither. The mystical potential of this love is transcendent and universal, and your spirit innocence is always being tested. You have the capacity to meet those initiations from life like a spiritual warrior, fired up and ready to compete for your spirit, your individuality, no matter what the circumstance. Then, when the warrior or the fool of gate 21, which sits opposite this in human design, it's an Aries placement, prods you to leap into the void, or when you meet life's initiating challenges, you will be able to land on your feet and deepen your innocence into a wisdom that can empower others on their own journey. You may emerge a bit wounded sometimes from such initiations, but your ultimate triumph and survival enriches your spirit. You feel empowered and the spirit of those around you. The result is that you are alive with the wonder and love of being a human being. So I love that. I feel like that's super important because quite a few of you either have gate 25 or have asked me about gate 25 recently. And I'm working my way up through the seasons of the year to do a deep dive on those placements. I have a gate deep dive channel, or gate and channels deep dive playlist on my channel here. So you can look at that. But paying attention to that. The last question that I'll leave you with is a rhetorical question to think about today is how can you be the most prepared in a changing time, right? I don't even want to say that it's always challenging, but change always feels like challenges for those who don't like change. So being able to say, okay, I know that times are changing. AI is becoming something that people are using more, whether we like it or not. How do we use it more effectively for something that feels good for us? How do we advocate for our beliefs about it, so to speak? Those can also be things that you focus on. What do you want to be known for in the midst of these changing times? Which leads me to our beautiful last day of the week, our Sunday, where we're focusing on money focus. I also put a fear of the past repeating itself. Really being able to have I put the expectation from others that you will help them no matter how crappy they've treated you. I wrote a different word, but I want to make sure I'm saying this in the PG way. So just saying like who's going to kind of come out of the woodwork today during a Mercury retrograde shadow period. I have to actually look. I forget what day Mercury actually goes into retrograde. Hold on, pause. Mercury is going retrograde on the 10th of November. So we have a little bit of time, but still the shadow period nonetheless. Time is so funny. These videos help ground me. I know just as much as you guys have shared that they've grounded you too, but we're really figuring out like, okay, how do we make sure that we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's to make sure that the past isn't repeating itself? And when people do come back from our past, or there are flare-ups in other, examples of people, maybe it's not the same person, but it's a friend that like was an ex-friend of yours that was in your past and somebody in the same different body but same energy came through. How can you not fall victim to the same circumstance again and feel empowered? It's kind of, I put it's like that battlefield energy where you're like, okay, I'm holding, and then when you have to go and it's go time and you're charging full speed ahead. It's playing games with that healthy kind of like yoga energy of knowing that there's a certain amount of time that we have to be able to stretch to our limits, and then when do we release, because it's actually more beneficial to release, soak in the benefits of our practice in Shavasana, and be able to lean in that way. So do be aware that we have more of a money focus today. Don't focus or hyper focus on trying to, fall victim to the same circumstance over and over again. The fear of the past repeating itself is a healthy one, but it's not something you have to stay stuck in either. So I will leave you guys with that for the week ahead. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have any specific questions about how this energy is going to be affecting your chart specifically, you can either drop a comment in the comments below, or for $1 using PopCall, the link that's also in the show notes. I have a lot of good information, and in those links there, you can text me any question for $1, and it's me that actually answers you if you have a very specific question that you don't want on the internet for everyone to see. So I will see you guys in the next one.